ayahuasca.
So I don't even know where do we start? How do we even do this?
This
It's
podcast has been
you
building
that
for
needs
some
to
time,
start.
Yeah.
and
Oh, this episode?
yeah, this
Oh,
episode.
this
I don't think
episode?
it's this episode. I think it's
Okay.
I think it's what you No, I'm
Mm,
not saying it's not going to happen this episode.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying
mm,
I think I mean, you've been bringing this up to me for a while.
Yeah.
Like you were like, we make all these podcasts and we're always talking about dicks and farts and
right.
we never actually talk about like how you're really feeling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you always say like, if it was my podcast,
Yeah.
which it is.
Yeah.
You're like, if it was my podcast,
If it was
I'd
my
talk about
podcast,
everything going on
it's
in my
not
life,
his
whether good or
podcast.
bad.
I get away with that on my vlogs too.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just be like, guys, I'm not feeling so good today, and then all the comments are like, it's okay, Jason, we
Right.
love you.
Okay.
And I understand why you don't do
That's
that because
beautiful.
when you started, when I met you,
Mm,
I used to do like one man shows where I would like bare my soul to like 25 people. Like that's literally what I was
That's
doing before I met
so sad.
you. So that to me was like, yeah, I'm an artist and I'm doing my thing. And when I met you,
No.
I got this whole other different angle of stuff. And I was like, you just want to make people happy. You just want to make people laugh. You want people to escape.
You
You're
just
like
want to
the
make
show
people
Entourage.
happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like I used to love the
Entourage.
show Entourage. You know why?
Why?
Because I was married at the time, and I knew Sunday at fucking 9 o'clock, Vince and the gang were gonna get up to some shit. They were gonna get in a Lamborghini,
Right.
maybe
Mm,
hanging with a hot babe,
Well, that's why.
and that's what I saw in your
is
vlogs.
that
I mean,
what
that goes along with like
Entourage?
the
Is
movies
that what
I
he's
enjoy.
looking
Like
for?
I'll
Is
never say
being
I like a dark
Entourage?
movie. Like I hate dark
He's
movies.
kind
I
of
just
like
don't
lived
like
that
a movie
out.
that like. And by dark movie, I mean like movies where people are going through like real emotional shit or like like dramatic movies. I just don't like those.
So you don't have
Like I like the
depth.
super lighthearted. Like when I say 50 First Dates, like I'm not kidding. Like I just like the movies that you can put on and you can watch with like a blank mind and you can just be
Right.
like dumb happy.
Yeah.
Like that's what I've
Yeah.
always enjoyed.
I
And that's what
can
I've
see
always
that
wanted to
in
put out.
him.
Like I've always wanted to put out content where it's like I'm not talking about the stuff that's like bothering me, and I'm not talking about stuff that's like making me sad that day. Because I
Does
don't know.
he have
Not that I
things
was
that
like
make him sad?
embarrassed, but I just feel like
Yeah.
that's not my
Is
place.
that
Like it's not. I'm making these videos, and I don't mean this in a way to like gas myself up, but like I'm making these videos to make other people laugh and to make other people smile.
you
Like
want to make other people
why
laugh
should they
and
worry about how
smile?
I'm feeling? And like and that's 100% true. Like I've always thought, I don't know.
100% true.
I hate saying that because it does sound like I'm like it's not about me. It's about
Yeah.
the people.
Okay, yeah, it does sound like that's what you're saying. You know, I think he, if, I think he's lacking depth, like as emotions. Like he doesn't, um, people, shitty things that are happening to other people doesn't interest him. You know, like, uh, I don't know. If someone is like on the street and like hungry or something, I don't think that bothers him. I don't think he's, or it's not that it doesn't bother him, it doesn't interest him. What interests him?
People watching, but like I in a way I mean that.
Yeah, and there's
Um,
a lot of merit to that. And so when you
But that's why I hate saying it because it does
no,
sound.
let
like
me say it. There's a lot of
Okay,
merit
okay,
to
okay.
it, and when you showed me that way,
Merit.
and I was like, you know what? That is a good way to be because the way I was doing it, one man shows was not
Good
working for
way to
me.
be.
Sure.
You know,
It wasn't working for you because all you were doing was talking about how you were unhappy with your life. Yeah, so I mean, those are two really different things. Oh my God, look at the way that he looks right now. And then he's just kind of with his tongue out. It's very interesting. Anyway,
no one wanted to hear me sit up there and cry
Yeah.
about my marriage or whatever.
But I think as like time goes on, like
And yeah, there gets to a point.
where that's a little bit harder to do.
Yeah,
Where being happy is a little bit more difficult to do. And actually like I've had a lot
being
of like
happy
YouTube friends that
is
like put their
difficult to
emotional
do.
stuff
So it's, I don't know. Okay, just
on the
keep going.
internet and like people really love it and then they'll come to me or I'll be talking to them about it and they'll be like I really regret like not I regret but like I don't know why I posted that. That's so not like me. And then I'll be like, but just like look at all the people you're helping. Like look at all the people you're connecting with. And
Right.
I always say this to people like that like are like second guessing being like real on their internet profiles or whatever it is. And I'm like,
Vulnerable,
look at all
yeah.
the people you've helped just because of what you've said. And
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
true.
I'm hypocritical because like I say how positive it is, and then I'm scared to do it myself. Like I'm scared to open up myself.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you scared to open up?
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's just for the reason that like I just feel like it's just like
You think it's cheap?
I don't know if it's cheap. I just feel like people don't. That's not why people have like been attracted to me in the first place. Like I think I've always like we were just saying, like I always want to be like people come and they know exactly what they're gonna get. Just fun time, just laughter, blah 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 blah.
You know how I look at it?
What?
Remember when you got
So he's a public figure, though, and so when he does something that isn't good, right, and people are dogging on him for it, right? Like he can't just continue to pump out videos. I mean, he can, he does, he has. Um, why is now any different? I mean, yeah, he can continue to do that.
your Tesla
Yeah.
and you made a video about the car,
Yeah.
and in the first minute you go, "Guys, I got a new Tesla. I'm really excited about it." This is a car video. So if this is not your thing, it's not like my other videos, honestly, skip it. But Heath and I are going to go out. We're going to make a video about this car cuz I'm so psyched about it.
Oh, great. So yeah, this is exactly like that, except it's not a car video; it's a feelings video. So if you yeah, skip it if you hate feelings. I may skip this actually. I may sit this one out right now. No, but I think yeah, I think
And
that
hates
was
feelings.
that
Okay.
was like my fun, bubbly personality, like that side to me, which was very true and authentic.
Yes.
Mm,
I feel like part of it was shot. So like,
what?
It was killed.
yes,
Killed off.
part of it was
I mean, the people
It's
should know, the
called
people that
life.
love you and support you, they should know that you've been going through it the last year,
It's
and you haven't been the
fucking
same.
life.
yeah.
And
You just take this over.
we're all worried
Oh
about
man.
you, and we come here every
Oh,
single
they're
day, Natalie and
worried.
I,
Okay,
and Ilya, and
Really?
we're trying to get old Dave back,
hold the knife
Oh,
and
old
on your knees.
diet.
it's almost like
It's
it's almost like you're a drug addict.
Yeah.
I was friends with a drug addict once, and we used to go over there every day and try to get him to quit drugs, and he wouldn't. And that's how I feel with you. And so I'm, we
so.
we're
What is he
hoping that if you
quitting?
start talking about stuff, then things are going to get better for you, and you're going to feel better. And that's all we're trying to accomplish.
So
We're
he's
not. I don't.
struggling.
We're not trying to win anyone over.
No, no,
We're
no,
not
no,
trying to
no.
get sympathy. But all we're trying.
I think something that's interesting is that, like, just it's just a general commentary, but like, if you look on any of his posts or anything like that, things look like they're going well for him. So what I guess he's trying to portray is that, although he has all the smiles in the world, behind that, he's not the same. Yeah.
trying to accomplish is just so
I want to also say that that's like super normal when you go through life. Like, um, oh man, I remember like when I was in my early 20s, I did not give a fuck about anything. I was right all the time, all those things. So we go through transitions. I'm 40 years old now. The last couple years have been pretty shit. And uh, David is, I mean, you could say he's pretty lucky to have so many people that are checking in on him and things like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, uh, David, wait till you're fucking um, Jason's age. I'm not being, but like things happen in life, right? Going through a divorce is like really fucking tough. You go through a point where you're like, oh, okay, I love this person enough to, tell it to the world, right? And then you're later on, you're like, actually, I miscalculated that a little bit. Um, it's so, it's, anyway, David, you're going to continue to have shitty things happen to you. It's just part of life.
so you feel better. And honestly, maybe this podcast won't even go up.
Yeah, I think the big problem is a lot has happened in my life, like the last 2 years especially. Do you know I got canceled?
Yeah, I did too.
No. But a lot has
So
happened, and I just like, I mean, Ilya will say it the best. He'll just be like, "You're a fucking asshole. You never talk about anything. All you do is you just keep it to yourself.
you're an
Yeah.
asshole.
Like, open up. Like, talk to your audience. Like, all they want is like honesty. Like, that's what you preach too. Like, to be authentic. And I feel like I'm not being authentic
Yeah,
by.
and the
Okay. I don't know who he preaches this to, but I don't see a lot of videos where he's like preaching authenticity, and I mean, his videos are edited, um, shaped in a particular way to look like they're having fun constantly. When, I mean, if you're looking for the B-rolls, look at Jason's videos, which basically is them just running around or walking around, stressed out because they're trying to figure out how to make a 4-minute video interesting.
I feel like we're just like leading these people on. Haven't we been talking about like
Yeah,
nothing
you
for
are.
10 minutes? Or am I crazy?
I think this is the best.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
This
feel
is,
like
I,
This
I'm
is
like,
the
I'm so
best.
I like a boner
I
right
feel
now.
like if I was watching this, I'd be like,
What are
dude,
you
fucking
talking
say
about?
something else.
Well, I think
I don't
there's
know,
two
man. Let it
different
fucking
things. There's
ride. Who
Yeah.
cares?
there's too many communication things. Like, so this is like Jason obviously has like real emotions, feelings, and he's in touch with them. You know what I mean? And then, and that happens as you age. I'm just saying. Um, and he wants to be able to communicate on a human level with the people that he's surrounding himself with. So that makes sense. Look how happy he is. He's just like, oh, Natalie. And Natalie is just like, this is so. Can you see, like, I don't even think Natalie is like a fan of this. I feel like Jason's like, this is gonna work. Look at the positiveness. Look at, oh, so sweet. And then there's Natalie just like, the fuck, this is gonna work. And then I don't know.
Who cares?
this
This
is
is for you.
Right.
This is for you and me and Natalie and no one else. And we're just letting them watch it.
Right.
You know? And you know what the real crime is, David?
Right.
The real crime is that when you do talk, you're incredible. And then when you do tell people how you're feeling and stuff, you're incredible. You're an incredible communicator. And
I like to think I am.
you are. And you're doing yourself a disservice.
Okay, so this is gonna come back later. It's just funny that I'm picking this up now. He says, I think I am a great communicator. Later on in the video, he's gonna say he has terrible communication, but reels in an extra person. We have terrible communication. So I'm going to guess from this statement that he's a great communicator. Yeah, good at it.
By just not
Being confident in your what
being
you have to
confident and speaking
say.
from the heart.
Yeah.
Because you're like the best at it out of all of
Okay.
us.
Yeah. I appreciate
Confidence.
Thanks.
that. A lot of potential to live up to now that you said
So confidence? I don't know. He seems pretty confident.
that.
So make it good.
Now people are like, oh, let's hear him. Let's hear this
What do you gotta say?
world-renowned communicator communicate.
So we're at 15
no,
minutes.
I don't know.
at this
Yeah, I
point.
think
It's also hard. There's so much to say that
There's-
we're not going to cover it all this podcast.
There's so much to
there's
say.
so much
There
to say.
is,
And I told
yeah.
Jason, I was like, for the next month, like you keep preaching this, like, okay, you take the reins of the podcast, and like whatever you need to get out of me or whatever you think I need to get out myself, like let's just do it. Let's just talk about it. So for the next couple weeks, I just want to be able to talk about stuff that like normally I would be too scared or
Okay.
hesitant or find not important or like just wouldn't want to mention on live. But I feel like I not only owe it to you guys, but this is so lame. I feel like I owe it to myself, like to like just get it off. Like I feel like I've just been in this like I don't know. I just feel like I need to like come out and be like, yeah, this is me. This is what I've been going through.
This is your coming
So-
out episode. For sure.
But
This
Yeah,
is
I've been
okay
going-
to do.
the last 2 years of my life have been like the worst years of my life. And
Worst years of your life. Oh,
Yeah, it's been like really, really bad.
Oh.
And I think it's so interesting because I'll see comments on like my new vlogs and everyone will be like, I think we cut this. I mentioned this in the last podcast, but I think we cut it out. And I'll read comments and everyone would be like, this is the happiest I've ever seen him.
Yes.
He's finally like, whatever, hit his stride. And it's like, it couldn't be further from the truth. Like
Right.
I didn't even know like I could feel something like this. It's pretty dark, and it's pretty unfortunate. But I'm figuring it out, and I don't know. And
I think a lot of this has to do
and
with
the
him
thing that's
being
keeping me
canceled.
going is like, I know whatever a person's going
I
through,
don't know
like
if
it's
this
going
is
to be okay at
because
the end of it because like like when
the
you see
last
like
2 years
celebrities
he's
or like
saying, but
any prominent person be
I
interviewed
just
or like
don't. I
anybody
think
interviewed
there's.
in general. It's
I
like
think
what would you tell yourself
it's
when you were
more
younger?
about
And
being
like
canceled.
70% of the answers are like it's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? So like
This happened
Yeah.
in
if I was to take
2020.
It's not. Trust
Right?
me, I'm on the other
okay,
side.
never mind. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
So part of
No,
it was the
it is gonna be
pandemic
okay.
No,
too.
but like that's how
It is.
Not
that's
being
how
able
I
to
look at it.
vlog.
Like
There's lots of
it-
combination
this stuff
factors
can't
here.
last forever.
It's not just one thing.
Maybe it can. Maybe I just
These things can't
shot
last
myself
forever.
in the
It's
face with that. But
never going to go back to where you want it.
Well,
to
there's a
be.
lot of issues on the table,
You
and
had.
probably the
There's
first thing
moments in life.
is Jeff. We should talk about that and what's going on, and how you feel about it.
right. Recently, our friend Jeff Wittek, posted some stuff about me, just about the accident and about how things have been handled, and
You didn't call him on his surgery,
yeah.
stuff like that.
And I think I think there's things that I haven't really spoken about. I've never spoken about the surgery or the incident in general. So I think it's kind of time for that.
And we asked Jeff to come today and be on the
Right.
podcast. He didn't want to, and we respect that
Right.
because I
Yeah.
would prefer to do
Yes,
do that with him here.
Yes, me too.
But
That's also a reason I don't like doing any of this stuff.
I don't like doing it either.
It's
I
because,
agree with you.
I think like talking about someone when they're not in the room
I'm not even going to say anything.
is like a
Just
really
go on.
strange thing. I think you can tear open a person when they're in the room right next to you and like you're making eye contact, but I think it's a whole nother to talk about somebody when they're not there with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Jeff thing, the Jeff thing is the fucking worst because before I even say anything,
The Jeff thing.
that day.
The Jeff thing. So the Jeff thing, it's like saying the car thing or whatever. It's kind of like a thing. I just don't think that that's the whole reason why he's really upset right now. I think there's like multiple reasons, you know? So, anyway.
Is like the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and I wish I would fucking
worst
do
thing.
anything to take that day back.
Yeah.
He
He probably is. It probably is a really bad day for him. I don't think he wants to see anyone get that hurt. There's also a level of guilt or like shame attached to that. And even with someone with basic emotions, is going to feel something about that, and it's not going to be like happy feelings.
Like, yeah, I mean, anything. Like, I'm being dead ass. Like, I wish it was me up there. I wish whatever. Like, it's like,
I wish it was me up there. Whatever.
it's the most unfortunate thing ever.
It's this unfortunate thing ever. Unfortunate. It just, the wording, it's very separate from it. It's not really, I don't know. The lack of depth.
And I think, and it's an accident. That's what it was. It's an accident. Like, I also want to make that clear.
Accident.
I don't know if people think that there's never
Accident.
a world where I would
So
ever
what
want
he's
that to happen to a person.
so
I
what
was
he's saying
never
is
up
that
there,
he
like,
didn't
driving the thing,
mean
wanting
to do
hurt
that.
him or whatever it was. Like, that was
He
never
didn't
the
want
thing.
to hurt him. Okay.
And I think recently, so Jeff's gotten angry recently with me, and And I don't know. This is
Okay, so I'm assuming that you've watched the video, but you didn't want him to be hurt. But then, what was your thought process when you know, um, moved the crane in such a way?
there's a lot of layers to it. I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the main reasons Jeff is bummed with me right now is
I think one of the main reasons that Jeff is bummed with me right now. Okay, that's a very, like, it's almost like he's taking ownership over something. His fucking tongue, like, is his tongue too big for his mouth? Anyway, but oh God, squirrel brain. No, he is whatever. I'm just gonna watch this.
because he saw me do.
Yeah, so he's taking ownership of this. He's saying like, oh, I know about why this happened. This is what I think it is. Jeff has made it explicitly clear what the reason is for um, why he's upset. And it's exactly the reason that he's going to say here. It's not that he thinks that he should be like, I know this because this is what Jeff said.
He saw me do an interview where I said something.
Where there's a video
that
going
I
to be coming
promised
up,
him
a
I'd keep between
movie,
us.
keep between us. So this is the
And
second
that's
thing.
something he
Oh,
told
see,
you.
now I'm going to get, yeah.
Yeah.
And I figured that that's what it was, and then you reaffirmed it when you told me that
You
he's
reaffirmed it.
pissed
He
that I
made a
broke promise.
video about it, and you know you watched the video. Oh,
This is so
I'm
hard
gonna
to
get
talk about
angry.
because like I don't want to fucking sound. Yeah, okay.
What are you
So
wanting not to sound like?
Was it the day of whatever it was?
It was the day
You've
of
never talked about the
the
accident. You want to go
incident.
through it?
I'd say it's an
Yeah, I mean,
incident,
we were
not an
filming a
accident.
video, like my comeback video. I haven't posted in a while, and we wanted to do something exciting. And there was this YouTuber
We
that
want to
we
do
were
something
collaborating with
exciting.
for
You
it that
wanted
like
to do something
did these
exciting.
really cool like really
Yeah,
cool
we've seen it.
visuals of like
Yeah,
people doing the coolest things.
cool. The
And one of
visuals of
them
people doing the coolest
was
things.
people like wakeboarding.
Wakeboarding.
I don't know what that's called.
Wakeboarding. Okay.
While holding on to an excavator.
Excavator. Okay.
And that was like one of like 5 things we were gonna do. That was like the
One
first
th-
activity that we
5.
had planned to shoot.
Okay.
And yeah, the morning came where we were in Utah. We
Morning.
were filming it.
Okay. So it's the starting of the day.
And yeah, we were getting the shots, wakeboarding.
We're getting the shots.
And then
I
remember Jeff came up to one of my buddies, one of our friends. I don't know why I say it like that. And then later to me, and he was like, "This is fucking boring as shit. What are we?"
So he went up to one of his buddies. Sorry, I'm gonna like, it's a social worker in me. I just want to get like every detail correct because he kind of went over his words and he wants to
plan to shoot.
change it.
And yeah, the morning came where we were in Utah. We were filming it.
Okay, sorry, I went back too far.
And yeah, we were getting the shots, wakeboarding.
Yeah.
And then I remember Jeff came up to one of my buddies, one of our friends.
What?
I don't know.
Okay, so he went up to one of my buddies, and then he says, "Oh, I mean our friends." I don't know why I said that. I mean, they call it like Freudian slip or whatever, but it's kind of like it is probably your buddy, right? Who told you some information. So I'm just going to set this up here. So he heard this from after the fact. The whole time he's in the excavator, right? Okay, so he's going to, so someone said, oh, well, after the whole event, oh, well, actually, Jeff wanted to do something like that. Didn't tell David.
No, I say it like that. And then later to me, and he was like,
and later to me. Oh, okay. So what he's saying is like, I have corroborating evidence. He didn't just say it to, my buddy. He said it to me too.
This is fucking boring as shit. What are we, like preschoolers? Like, let's do something cool. And
okay, so to some people, yeah, okay, this would be, but you have to know Jeff's mentality on things. He just had like these days where he was going and taking his ego was up high. Let's just be honest, okay? We don't make the best decisions when we have a big ego, which is probably part of the problem with both of these people. But anyway, flying high, and he's just like, yeah. And you know what? He talks smack even on a bad day, whatever, on a good day too. So, I mean, I don't think he even means everything he says. Like, yeah.
He said he wanted to swing from it, and I loved the idea. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
So he wanted to do it. He wanted to swing from it. He said, hell yeah, that's a great idea. I love it. And so then I would like to know how that works from like, so Jeff gave you the idea. You didn't suggest the idea. Okay. And then Jeff suggests the idea and he says, yeah, that's a great idea. So then they get Corinna on it. If that is the case, then they're both kind of jerks. Like, what if Jeff's being like, oh, you guys are pussies? Like, oh, but I don't want to do it. I don't know, maybe Karina was begging them, oh, please, I want to do it. Jeff, no, I want to go first.
So
I remember too, like right before we had
So this is Natalie saving him because he didn't know what to say.
gotten to Utah, Jeff, Todd, and I were all getting skydive certified. So we were like, we had all done like 20 jumps out of an airplane. Like we were like high on life.
Yeah.
right.
I remember when we all like the three
That's
of us
amazing feeling.
had like this like air of like not arrogance, but just like we had done something so amazing all together, and we had this like
Yeah.
bonding experience.
Oh yeah.
And I remember like when we landed at the airport,
Gonna talk about Jeff.
we just felt like so cool.
Yeah.
And we were so ready to like
Yeah.
do. We're like, oh, we're gonna do all these like water sports and stuff. Like we were just jumping out of airplanes for a
Yeah.
whole week. Like
Yeah.
and there was that air of like excitement and like wanting to do so many different things and like being able to do.
You guys were adrenaline junkies for like a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember you took one van in the morning, and then I took everybody else in another van a couple hours later.
Mhm.
And I remember going down, dropping everybody off, and I had to poop. And I remember
Important part of the story.
I remember walking down and looking at the stunt and being like, I'm going to check this out. I'm going to see what everyone's doing. And I saw it, and it was just the crane just taking people around wakeboarding, and it was pretty slow. And I was like, okay, that looks fine.
Right.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna
I
poop.
think he probably had
And
some.
it was really far away from the Rite Aid that I had to poop at. It was far from civilization, like 15 minutes. And by the time I finished
Okay.
pooping, Susie texted me and said, you guys were at Utah Valley Hospital, and
Oh shit! I didn't know you weren't there.
Yeah, Jason wasn't even.
I wasn't even there. And that eats me up.
Um.
That eats me up that I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he saw
don't know
it.
what I
It was
would've done
looking
if-
slow.
Because I feel
Then
like
something
me and Matt
happened.
King are always the ones that are like, hang on,
Okay,
let's wait.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
so they're reasonable.
So go ahead.
Yeah. So
Well, sorry.
yeah.
And I remember like we had pulled up to that stunt the first day, and I remember walking up, and Todd was wakeboarding for the first time. And this is like when Todd and I first started.
This was the day before.
This is the day.
Oh, that day.
The day
Yeah.
of.
The
That was
day
early
of,
that day. It was
okay.
7 a.m. It
Yeah.
started. Yeah.
And this is when Todd and I had first started like dating.
So 7
Yeah.
a.m.
And
they started.
there was always like these jokes between Todd, Jeff, and I. Like,
Yes.
about like Todd and I dating. And I remember Jeff was like, "Oh, Todd thinks he's so cool. Like, he's just like wakeboarding or whatever." And like, because he was like, we had just done all these things. We had just jumped out of a plane like a million bajillion times.
Okay.
Now we're just like hanging on to like a wakeboard.
Oh,
and
so
there was,
he
like,
was
so
trying
many
to
more other
impress
cooler things that
Natalie?
could be done. And so I think
that what
like
she's
there was
saying?
just this air of like everyone was trying to like have fun and like do cool things.
It was a comeback video. There was a lot of
There's that fun.
pressure on that.
I mean, I
Pressure?
think pressure on Matt.
Okay.
On that.
Oh, I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot
Pressure
to
on
be said with
Matt, I
just
mean,
that as well. Like, I think that's why I don't want to
Maybe
make
Jeff, but
the kinds of
not
videos I
Matt.
was making before. Was there was this like pressure to perform. So there was
Pressure
like
to
like
perform.
and not.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on it because it's like
50-50
on one
on
side,
what?
like that's how things are made that are great. Like everybody wants to contribute. Everybody wants to make it bigger. Everybody wants to make it better. Like that's how great things are
50-50 on
made.
what?
Is like people have a motive and people have a
That it was
desire to make something
stupid?
amazing. And I think that's what helped with my videos is
That was
each and every
stupid.
one of my friends
I'm
wanted to
50-50 on it.
contribute. And the
He
reason they were
still
so
can't
good is
agree that
because
it was
all my friends
stupid.
helped me with the videos.
Yeah, all
And
your friends do
and
help
yeah,
you
so
with
like
the
on one side, I
videos,
think like
and you
that's
don't pay
exactly how
them
something
anything.
great is done. But on the other side, I could see how
That's how
like that
something great.
environment can get dangerous. So when we got
Yes.
to the hospital,
So he's still 50-50 on it,
um,
even though he almost
Jeff
killed
was in
someone.
pretty good spirits. It's a really
This is
hard
why he
thing
doesn't open his
to
mouth.
like navigate when you're in the hospital with something like that because you don't know whether or not to be like super
You
serious and
don't know.
caring or goofy.
So this is a big thing. He didn't know. He's trying to distance himself away. But he didn't know whether he should be happy or sad.
Right? Like I don't know how to do that.
To be goofy.
And I remember Jeff told me to check my DMs, and it was
Jeff told me
a
to check
video
his
that he found
DMs.
like 15 minutes before the accident
15
that
minutes.
somebody posted,
15
and
minutes
he said,
before
"Let's
the
recreate
accident.
this," and it was a guy
So
swinging
did
from an excavator
he?
and flying off. I
Did
didn't
he
see that
watch?
DM till the hospital, and he
Did
jokes. He's
he?
like, "I didn't mean literally, haha," like he joked.
I
That
wonder
was the first
why
time I
he
saw
had
the
to
DM. That
put
was the
in
first
that
time I opened it.
thing.
Um,
So
and
maybe
then he
there.
asked, he's
I
like,
think he's
can
trying to say like
you
I think
promise
there
me one
was
thing? I
some
said, what? And he's like,
intention.
can you just promise that no one ever knows that this was my idea?
This was my idea.
And
So okay. So this is when he brings up the thing about the secret. I'm going to take a step back because this is when I have like some real fucking feelings about this, which is that even if, let's just say the worst thing, Jeff sends him this video of him getting seriously hurt. Okay? So that's a video. Or that, sorry, my cat is being weird. What are you doing? What, you want to go back out there? You can't right now. Okay. So annoying. I'm going to stop.